G'day guys, fair warning, when I say it's a boring video and it's for super fans only, I mean it. It's Sunday. I only cracked into this just after lunch and followed through with some of what I said I was going to do in the previous video. Let's have a look. I've made a bit of a mess in the workshop again. I didn't put my paper towel up here. See? Look at them. Anyway, and it's ruined. Not to mention bits have been swarf and all that. All that's come about. Of course, we're working on this. This will be a 30-second video if I don't film the interesting bits of me walking. I put the O2 sensors back in for our Link CAN Lambda units. Have not moved those yet. Did look at it. Thinking seriously about taking that one. Where it is, that one, and putting it over here somewhere, and same with that. Tuck them in behind the intercooler here. It's too late, I've already shown you. I told you because I polished these up and they look good, I need to polish up some other things so that they look as good, or good as well. Ta-da! So, that is mostly a brand new pipe, actually. You might have seen the original one was on the floor behind the toolbox in my scrap metal junk mess pile thing that needs to actually go away, be put somewhere else. But this is basically a new one. The other one was made from scrap aluminium anyway, and some of it had been anodized, and I'd stripped the anodizing back off it, and it just wasn't very nice, to be honest. It did tidy up and you wouldn't notice if no one said anything, but this is new, fresh, new tube. Hasn't been run. Looks much nicer. There's a join here somewhere that I've welded and polished out, but it's just there, isn't it? It's a bit hard to see unless you know where you're looking for it, which is great. I don't care if you can see it. If you look hard enough, that's fine, but if you're not looking at it, you won't notice it. I moved the air temp sensor for pre-intercool. It was living here. I've shifted it forward over there. Nothing to do with weight or balance or anything like that. I'm just trying to make it look tidier, right? So the less stuff you have in your face, the nicer the job looks. It'll be the same deal with these CAN Lambda units. So we put them somewhere side by side on top of this bracket here perhaps, or build a special one and put it here. It's just going to look nicer. We could, there's probably not enough wire. We could put one on each side of the intercooler. It might look terrible, I guess. This one here actually needed to be significantly shorter than what it was, and a lot more angle on the front. We were miles out from that working properly, but apparently when I put this intercooler in, I must have been running short on time or whatever, had other things to do, and just smashed it in there. Get the job done, get the job done. So we are significantly better now. We're now going into that 2-inch to 2.5-inch coupler at the correct angles and everything. There is a small section added in here earlier on which has been cut out and made shorter. It's unfortunate that the off-the-shelf bends that you get from, I think it's the mount shop, or these might be even from Unibend, probably the mount shop. The length of tube in between just isn't quite enough to butt it straight up with just one join. There is a place in Hamilton, we'll come back around here, that does custom bending of things like that for you. I probably could get that done in one piece, but it's just not worth the hassle. So that's looking better. Surely that looks better. We need some clamps. We need to take our, nothing wrong with the branding, the Z1 Motorsports 2-inch to 2.5-inch reducer, expander, adapter, whatever we want to call it. That one there, we need to take that off and replace it with a black one, purely because that, you can see that it does stand out. There's no sense in leaving just that one thing in here like that. It's going to taint the visual symphony. Oh, there you go, some BS for you to laugh at. So I've got to shift this plug here as well, of course. That's for that plug that's now dangling in the breeze. The good thing about that is the harness that's on this is actually a little bit too short to reach where it needs to go in here. somehow that worked out. I don't know what the deal is there. So I've got a jumper harness on there. Guess what? If we shift that other plug forward, this one comes forward, that jumper harness goes away. Good. More reliability. Just as well I hadn't finished wrapping all this stuff up. Hey, that's why you leave all this sort of thing till you're done fluffing around, because we haven't done our gear shifter yet, and that's got a load cell on the top of that inside the knob, and that will need wiring to it. So I've got to make up my mind whether I'm going to join into this harness here, or I'm going to join into the harnesses over the top of the gearbox under here, or run it somewhere else, whatever. So at the moment it all stays like that. A bit messy. I might hit up our mates at Link. A G4X, which is the new version of the ECU with heaps more memory and everything, and not a plug-in one. Go for an extreme wire-in one, and then we can tidy up this so much better, so much many nicer. I can tidy this up a little bit, but the factory plugs, I'm not sure if you can get the pins for them, the terminals that go inside. And so shortening all this up to make it look nicer involves splicing wires and stuff, which is just going to cause reliability issues. Don't want to do that. Do you not want to introduce problems just to make it look prettier? I did think of it. Hang on 1 second. How rude of the air compressor. As I was saying before, we were rudely interrupted. Not sure that complies with motorsport regs. Don't know how that's gotten here. Never mind. I was thinking about moving the ECU forward or in another position to get rid of some of that length of that harness and tidy it up. But it's just not going to look right putting it somewhere else, up on top of here or whatever. Nah. It's not what we want to do. So there we are, that's today's progress, 2 pipes shinier. This afternoon's progress. To be fair, I didn't come out here this morning. So, not symmetrical? They can't be, because the engine arrangement isn't, because the turbos are not Siamese turbos, right? So they both rotate the same way. So the compressor outlets are both on the same side, and the turbines are clocked slightly differently, so it puts the actual shaft of the turbo in a slightly different position compared to the crankshaft, and it puts the outlet in a different position. So that pipe basically has to cock over that way compared to that one. That one does ever so slightly come out as it goes forward. That one is significant. Now the way around that would involve clocking the compressor in a different spot, or maybe having an elbow coming out of the compressor and then straightening it up like that. It's all just extra weight, extra complexity, and I would take a few steps back and show you, but some work that needs to happen is in the way, so I can't do that. Cool. Right, now I need to do something with the struts. This is one of the things that needs. There's the strut there, Glenn. That's a roll cage tube. One of the things that needs to happen is we need some longer struts in here, because I'm 6 foot tall, and this right here is about, I'd say, 5'7". It's a great height for smacking people in the head. It needs to go up just that little bit more. If it's 6 feet to here, nice. And if you hit your head on that, well, you're too tall. You should have been watching out. But where it is right there is a perfect height for smacking people in the noggin. And this thing does tend to have a lot of people hanging around with the boot open, looking at the artwork. That looks heaps better, doesn't it? Right, enough talking. Let's do some work tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. There's heaps of you subscribed. I can see in the analytics for the channel that I'm a bit shaky today. Let's put that on there. That a lot of you are watching, well, a lot of the viewers are watching from suggested videos, not from notifications. So hit that notification bell, and then you'll know when I'm babbling. and I'll probably give you a fair warning when they're going to be really interesting videos and when they're just the daily videos that a lot of guys are wanting to watch because they're stuck in lockdown and bored out of their brains. Okay, enough. Catch you later. Cheers, bye.